Here, we notice the kids, gathering just outside the view of our lenses, not looking at me or the cameras, but looking at what we're eating. One plate of food would be a good day for any of them. And here, I'm painfully aware, I'm eating 3.
I mean, the day is almost over and she got a bunch of rice.
Right.
And then all those people around here, they are sitting here waiting for just a piece.
What would you do? Hungry kids and a hard-working businesswoman. A brief conference with producers, and I think, in this case, easy to make the situation better, right? We decide we'll buy the lady out, pay full price for every order of food she can muster, and we'll feed them. Simple. Fill the bellies of some cute kids, a good-hearted expression of kindness. We all go back to our hotel feeling really good about ourselves, right? What happens is both predictable and a metaphor for what's wrong with so much well-intentioned aid effort around the world.
We are now 200 years into this experiment, and Haiti is the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. 2 out of 3 Haitians live on less than $2 a day. The beautiful towns they inherited from the French have degenerated into crime, disease, and trash-ridden slums. They used to have rich, thick forests, but the locals destroyed them to use them as firewood. So today, only 2% of the country is forested, and food is so scarce the people must resort to eating mud and clay cookies to fill their bellies. Even before the 2010 earthquake, Haiti suffered from heavy burdens of hunger and malnutrition. 40% of households were undernourished, and 30% of children suffered from chronic malnutrition. The land is fertile, the climate perfect to build a thriving agricultural economy. Coffee, sugar, rice, sweet potatoes, bananas, and a whole host of fruit and veg can be grown here. But they starve, seemingly unable to sustain a farm. 90% of farmers depend on rain for their harvest, and only 10% of the crops are irrigated. Agriculture is the most important sector of Haiti's economy, but failing to produce enough food, they import more than 50% for their nation's needs. 100,000 children under 5 years of age suffer from acute malnutrition, while 1 in 3 children is stunted or irreversibly short for their age. Less than 50% of households have access to safe water, and only 25% benefit from adequate sanitation. And 1/3 of Haitian women and children are anemic. One volunteer account reads, "I visited once on a cut mission trip. We tried to plant a bunch of stuff, but each new year of students going would come back to barren fields covered in salt and oil and people eating dirt. They don't leave stuff alone. They don't buy fertilizer. They don't water it. They don't get rid of bugs. They are literally incapable of farming without constant supervision. Despite going there, paying for the investment of supplies, and doing the initial work for them, they could not leave it alone ever. My school stopped doing trips there because it wasn't making any progress after 8 years. They never brought in a harvest and instead continually destroyed the land we prepared. They salt and sugar and oil their own farmland. By the end of our trips, they had created the only barren area in view. Everything else is lush plants everywhere." Quietly, we all kind of reached the same conclusion. Helping them is a waste. Now, of course, some people will question the validity of this account, it being anonymous and all, but it comports entirely with the reality on the ground and expresses the crux of the issue. The Haitian people have an average IQ below what is required for a population to sustain itself. Without the ability to farm, they are unable to ensure food security, and food security is the basic prerequisite for a functioning society. As Kevin McDonald puts it, Haiti is the quintessential dysfunctional society, a nation on welfare, a republic of NGOs, where half the budget comes from foreign aid and 3,000 non-governmental organizations operate most government services, including education and healthcare. Over 50% of the Haitian population have an IQ of 70 or below. To put that in perspective, a person with an IQ of 80 will be denied entry to the armed forces, deemed a security risk and untrainable. A person with an IQ of 75 will require constant supervision at work and can only perform the most basic of menial tasks. A person with an IQ of 70 is classified as intellectually disabled by the medical community. This is why Haiti is poor and the DR is relatively well off. But Vox can't admit this, because to do so would be to admit the farce that is egalitarianism, that not all people are the same, that the race occupying the DR with their European heritage and 60% white admixture, is just more intelligent and capable, has a better work ethic, and is more able to engage in long-sighted thinking than the race occupying Haiti, a people descended from sub-Saharan Africans. They cannot admit this biological reality, and they certainly cannot admit that nothing, no change in environment and no amount of foreign aid can change this. And so Vox invents a victimhood narrative, a dishonest, slanderous, and indeed libelous one at that. They blame the Dominicans and imply they are a racist, prejudiced, hateful people responsible for Haiti's failures. This is absolutely dishonorable and disgusting, and it is particularly nasty to characterize the Dominicans' protective measures as senseless discrimination or racism. For one, the Dominican Republic, despite being a developing country, still helped the Haitians as much as they can. They provided a lot of aid during the earthquake, and they allow for their national health budget, paid for by the Dominican taxpayer, to go towards illegal immigrant Haitian mothers giving birth in Dominican hospitals. They are hardly mistreating these people. In fact, they're being bloody generous. But secondly, and more importantly, the Dominicans know the Haitians well, and that's why they don't want these people in their country. They do not want the violence and rape and sexually transmitted diseases and superstitious religious practices the Haitians bring with them. They have enough problems of their own and have no need for illiterate, uneducated people who cannot even farm. And they owe these people nothing. The Haitians have repeatedly mounted invasions into Dominican territory, each accompanied by the rape of their women, the killing of their men and their women and their children, the burning of cities, towns and crops. Encroachment into Dominican territory via refusing to control migration from Haiti is another long-favored tactic used by the Haitian government. Such migrants have been used to assist attempted invasions in the past. And as if these weren't enough reasons to decide to keep these people out, the Dominicans just do not have enough resources to support Haitian migrants, people who become dependents and are unable to contribute to their economy. The Dominicans are a sovereign people and can choose to do whatever they feel is best for their well-being on their land. They have worked hard to preserve their European roots and identity, and they do not wish to have their culture Africanized by Haitians. They are a free people and can take whatever measures they deem necessary to ensure their safety and the survival of their way of life. They have every right to defend themselves. So shame on Vox and shame on this guy Johnny Harris for trying to guilt trip them into doing otherwise, for lying about them and painting them as intolerant, irrational bigots, for misrepresenting the history of the conflict between these nations to further push your egalitarian propaganda, and for painting the Haitians as victims for your predominantly American audience. I guess you have to prep them for the next big push to take in hundreds of thousands of Haitian migrants because, you know, the DR is so racist and won't help them and we need to take them in. White America feels sorry for these people. Your report isn't just inaccurate, it's complete trash. It's dishonorable, it's vile, it's propaganda, and to be honest, I find it utterly disgusting.